Hot on the heels of Oculus Rift, HTC and Valve have just upped the ante with Vive. It's more expensive at $800 compared to Rift's $600, but for good reason. Vive comes with a pair of custom-designed Steam VR controllers and 2 hefty base stations that allow software to track your movement over a maximum area of 15 square feet. Vive's strongest selling point is how it marries freedom of movement and intuitive controls with a capable headset. But these premium features come with considerable requirements. To experience what it's like to walk around in VR with Vive, you need a minimum unobstructed area of 6.5 by 5 feet, and a way to provide power to both of Vive's base stations. While Vive's controllers are valuable and a factor in the higher cost of Vive, the ability to partake in room-scale experiences is an equally important selling factor, and one that will prove difficult to implement for some users. No matter how you choose to use Vive, the headset is the most critical part of the experience. Its bundle of 4 cables seem noticeably obtrusive when you're stationary, but even more so when moving around a room. Though I did get better at blindly managing them the more I used Vive, I still stumbled on them over occasion. Vive can't match Rift when it comes to comfort, and when you consider that Rift has built-in, easily adjustable headphones, it's hands down the most user-friendly of the two. From a technical standpoint, the displays in Rift and Vive are practically identical. They both have an OLED screen with a refresh rate of 90 Hz and offer a resolution of 1080 by 1200 for each eye. As with Rift, I found Vive's display to be adequate, though not impressive. The low latency and high refresh rate of the displays allow you to experience VR without the threat of simulation sickness due to hardware deficiencies, but you will notice the display's pixels every time you put Vive on. Its base stations and controllers make the physical setup process a bit complicated, but the tutorial in Steam VR guides you through the procedure step by step and confirms that everything is working as intended. And once you have everything up and running, Steam VR walks you through a demo that teaches you the ins and outs of the controller and introduces you to the chaperone, Steam VR's term for the virtual walls it projects into VR when you get close to the real-world boundary of your VR playspace. The chaperone feature makes sure that you don't inadvertently run or walk into walls, a task it accomplishes effectively. But if you're working with the minimum amount of space, which is 6.5 by 5 feet, prepare to see wireframe boundaries appear frequently as you move about. You navigate Steam VR using the controllers as you would a laser pointer, more or less. Aim the laser from your virtual controller at an item on screen and pull the trigger to select it. Your UI in VR is for more than picking what games to play. You can also swap your view to interact with Steam proper, or to navigate your PC's desktop. Of course, if you're considering Vive in the first place, it's because you want to play games in VR, first and foremost. There are a lot of games available for Vive at launch, almost too many considering how many of them are small, canned experiences. But some games straddle the line, such as Job Simulator 2050.
This spot just needs a little fluid. No problem.
I was thinking mostly stuff on the outside of the car, but hey, you're the expert.
Here, you work in a comically depressing office space run by robots, among a handful of other work-related scenarios, where you're ordered to perform menial tasks. It sounds dreadful, but it's actually quite enjoyable, thanks to good writing and a large variety of objects to interact with. It's not the sort of game you'd be desperate to play outside of VR, but Vive embeds you in the experience in a way that reshapes your connection to the virtual world. That statement applies across the board when referring to Vive's room-scale supported games. While the quality of the games vary greatly, they all inherently deliver an impressive experience by allowing you to walk around, and by treating your controllers as extension of your hands to interact with objects. For the moment, Vive offers the most feature-rich VR experience there is. If you list the features it has compared to Rift, there will only be a few differences, but Vive's few advantages make a big difference in practice. To go with Rift is to wade in the waters of VR. Choosing Vive is like jumping into the deep end. It's not the easiest suite of hardware to set up, nor is it as refined as Rift, but Vive delivers the most advanced VR experience to date. For people who cannot wait, who are willing to go the extra mile, Vive is the only way to experience today's most advanced VR technology from the comfort of home.